Hey there, this is mine versus MajorJuggler's TC Aces relegation match. Major had a stress bot with 2K wings, TLT tactician, long range scanner, so that at range 3 and beyond he can get a target lock, and a bandit. And I had a gold stress bot with Corran with engine, push the limit, and a Biggs with integrated astromech. It's essentially a 1-point hull upgrade. So going into this tournament, I knew that my build would do very well against 2 to 3 ship builds, but kind of the more with the swarm, it would have a tough time with. So I knew that this match kind of was a bit tricky from the beginning. I did some practice games against some other people, and I did a couple different end games and openings, and I knew that it definitely was winnable, but I had to have a few things go my way. I first wanted to see if Corran could take on 2K wings in the end game, and that didn't work out. I didn't like the options there. As long with the K-wing slam, it really made it where they could block and just kind of definitely win that end game. So I knew going into this that I needed to kill the K-wing, at least a K-wing in the beginning. If I could have a K-wing and either a gold kind of turned around, or the Z, Corran could win that end game. Also, if Biggs gets in range of all these dudes, Biggs can easily go out. I think on average he would die in that first round. So I wanted at least to have 2 rounds of firing before Biggs died. So whether it was the gold and Corran taking some of the hits before Biggs, if Biggs could get 2 shots off, then that would be really good. And then in this matchup, because he doesn't have any aces, my stress bot was essentially worthless in other than the fact that he has a TLT BTL 8-4 title. So what I needed to do was have him be more in the front, and if he could turn around, do a K turn and get behind them before he started giving them stress, that would be ideal. So those were some things. Asteroid placement. With any new ship, or with any new build going into a tournament, I like to figure out what are the most ideal ways to go through the asteroids. And so I try to come up with a couple different options. And one, if the asteroids were in this placement, if I could start out and here, if the gold does, if I do a 3 bank with everyone, the gold does a 3, Corran does a 4, and Biggs does a 1, then that makes the gold and Biggs, or not both, sorry, my brain's still kind of out of it. The gold and Corran is in range 1 of Biggs, so that if the TLT tactician, if these dudes are range 2 of the tactician, then they would also need to shoot at Biggs. And then going through these asteroids like that was a really good way to have my people condensed. I don't know if I'm explaining this right. I just woke up. I played this game last night, and I wanted to go through this match first thing. So my brain's just kind of a bit slow. But so said another way, if I could go through the asteroids with only being about 2 people wide, and if I start off here, Biggs is still a little bit off to the left. If I had Biggs over here a little bit more, then he would be directly behind the gold. But that was an opening that I wanted. So looking at the asteroids, and so something else that I wanted to bring up was how to warm up in a game. I've found, especially with Vassal, because you just kind of go right into the first game, and in a tournament you can have you're playing game after game after game, so it's easy to get in a rhythm. But I found that there's been a couple times where I'm just out of it, and I'm just making silly mistakes. So I wanted to know if anyone has anything that works for them to just kind of do a warm-up. I mean, every sports does a warm-up, but this would be kind of just mental. I don't know if, like, chess champions, they have something that they do to just kind of get in the game, but that's something that I could have used. So the day before I played this game, I came up with a couple ways to go through the asteroids. And as I'm going through the asteroids, I'm placing it as though I'm here, even though Major told me that he's starting left and right. So, I mean, it's no big deal because they're kind of in the same formation as what I wanted, but I just kind of have to recalibrate. But that just kind of just is making me second guess myself and like being like, oh, okay, is my head really in the game? I will say the other game that my head was just completely out of was the Team Covenant championship game against my buddy Justin Chavez from Utah, where, I mean, I've been playing tournaments for about a year now, so I mean I definitely have some experience, but I just am just making silly mistakes. So here I see that he is starting up in the middle, and I see this right here as a good, hey, if we could fight through here, I know if I could just have my two guys, I could come down this line, and he's kind of spread out. So if I could bring that fight there, that's what I wanted. So that was my logic there. And so I'm setting up. I'm trying to kind of recalibrate from my mistake from the get-go. But so we're starting off, and I know I usually do just kind of go through games and just let them happen and kind of go through them pretty fast. But this one I kind of wanted to analyze and think about what could I have done different. And so it's more of a post-mortem analysis than just, hey, this was the game. So I want to go as fast as I can, and because the Y can only go about 3, that's what I'm doing. And sorry about that. So he's turning a hard 2, which is basically telling me that he doesn't want to fight through here. He wants to just basically joust, which I think he has the advantage of. So I kind of want to see. Like, I want the game to come through here, but he's wanting to make sure that doesn't happen. And he does something that kind of surprised me. He just did a 1 bank there, and I want to kind of go fast. And Corran, it kind of looks like that line I would hit the asteroid, but actually Corran's safe there. So think about what you would do, because this is definitely a very critical round. So maybe just pause it and think for a minute. So here was my thought process here. I know that he's just going to do a 2-turn, so I know where he's going to be, and I want to sneak up on him and kind of take advantage of that. If Biggs can get 2 shots off, then I'm happy. Like I said, that's really my goal. And so I have a couple different options. I have spent enough time playing Vassal and in real life where I rarely hit asteroids. So I looked at this and I thought, 3 bank, that's definitely going to hit there. 3 bank, he'd be safe, but he's going to hit there, so don't worry about it. 3 bank, he should be safe, but that's not really an option because he's going to hit the asteroid. So I thought, well, maybe let's just 2 bank everyone. And then at the last second, I was like, let's change that 2 bank to a 3 with Corran, so that maybe he can get a little bit closer, maybe get some shots on him, which he could regenerate. And I don't know why, but I thought maybe when I changed Corran's dial to 3, it changed the other guys, but I just placed them all at 3. And it just really took me off. So I set it down. I saw that Stressbot was doing a 3 bank, and I went to say stop, but because I said set, he went, which was totally fine. But right then and there, I'm like, oh crap, that's probably the game, because with this matchup, I need a lot of things to go my way, and that just kind of just screwed me over. And so I'm pretty ticked off at myself. And this was like just another game where I'm just like making just silly mistakes that are just, I mean, just really rookie mistakes. So Stressbot does a 3 bank, and Biggs does a 3 bank, which that's okay. But so let's kind of go through. The reason why that's really bad is because Gold, he only has a shot on Corran, so he can double stress me there. So that was really bad. So I want to go back and I want to see what would have happened if I just did 2 banks with everyone. I would have gotten shots on everyone. Biggs would have been out of range of these 2, so that would have been perfect because, and he probably doesn't have a shot, so Biggs would only take a shot there. And then Corran, I would still, that's pretty close. I might want to barrel roll, and that barrel roll made it so I was out. I don't think if I didn't barrel roll, I would be out. So I could have dodged the, okay, so that would have been really perfect. I love Vassal because in hindsight, you can go back and see what you could have done in the game. Another option I was thinking about was, oh crap, no, go back. Okay, so another option I was thinking was, I know that he's going to be clear back here. What if Corran just said, screw it, you guys are too slow, I'm just going to go as fast as possible. I'm going to do a 5, and then if I do a boost, oh, that would have been range 1. Oh man, I thought about doing that and just having these guys just do like the 2 bank, but I thought, yeah, I don't want to split up Corran. Only these two TLT guys would have been able to shoot, which Corran wouldn't have been range 1 of Biggs. Okay, so this is just an example of me not taking a risk really hurt me, because this would be a great position. If these guys did 2s, then, you know, based on how much damage I could deal on K1, I could decide whether or not to double tap or just kind of save it. And as long as I, yeah, oh, that would have been nice. So hindsight is always 20/20, but it's just kind of fun to go back and learn from your mistakes, because I need to learn from this game. All right, I'm back. I had to reset it because I had gone too far back in time, and yeah. So this was just a bad play. Even if I didn't mess up my dials, or even if I did the correct dials, doing that, just being a little extra aggressive and doing a 3 bank with Corran will set him up to get 2 more stresses. So that was good play on Major's part and just bad play on my part. So here I'm thinking I need to kill a K wing. That's just, if I have any shot of winning, and this game is very winnable, but I just need to take out a K-Wing in the first round. So because this one had a asteroid, I would prefer this one because he's coming my way, so that for the next turn or 2, I'd be able to attack him. But I just opted to go after K2 just because I wouldn't have an asteroid with both Biggs and Corran. So I shot him, I used my focus to get 2 hits and a crit, and he rolls an evade, and then Biggs gets 3 focus that I turn, and then he uses his focus, so only 1 more damage goes through, and now it's his turn to shoot. So K1 has to shoot at Biggs. I was able to dodge that after he used his target lock, so I was happy about that. Next, I'm not going to be able to dodge that, although I was close. And then with K2 attacking, I was just in the habit of rolling 3 dice because the other one had an asteroid, and so I just messed that up. Another silly mistake that, oh, geez, I'm just like killing myself. So we redid it, and long story short, he was able to get 2 attacks through. And now it's the Z and the Y wing going after Corran, which given double stress is the horrible part. So I use my evade to get rid of that, to get rid of the primary attack, and he still hasn't used his focus. So that's 1 damage there, and the second one, so it goes through, so 2 damage. And now the Z, I was able to avoid. So at this point, I'm just really upset with myself, just because I'm better than this, and I'm just really mad that I'm just playing so mindlessly. So here, there's a couple options. This K1 dude could come here, and if I just, try to end up here, then he could block me on an asteroid. And not only being on an asteroid, not having 3 attacks. See, this Y-wing is really powerful, because against these low agility ships, like these guys, I'm wanting to deal a lot of damage. His attacks are very powerful, so I can't afford that. So what I want to do is I'm just going to take the risk of him coming here to block me on the asteroid. I'm going to do a 4K turn. And if he blocks my 4K, well, I'm stressed. I don't know what will happen, but I still might have a shot. But that one's just kind of has the better risk-reward scenario. Biggs, I opt to just do a 2 bank and try to get another damage or 2 on K2, although I'm probably going to be going over that asteroid. So that sucks. And then Corran, I'm thinking I just need to do a green maneuver to start getting rid of this stress. I don't know if I'm going to be able to catch him. Plus, if I go to chase, well, then I got these 3 guys behind me. So that was just kind of, I think I should have just gone after this dude just for the follow-up attack. But, yeah. What I needed to do, and what I did in my practice games when I played against other people using Major's list, was the stress bot. I could give them 1 stress so that I know that they're going to just have to, they can't do like a 3 bank and then a slam and just get out of there. They have to do like, a smaller maneuver, and if they do that, like I think a 2 and a 2 is still green, but at least he wouldn't have an attack, and then Biggs has a good opportunity to maybe live through another round. But so that was just one thing that I would like to do with old Stressy, is just give 1 stress so that I could get rid of my stress and then do a K turn to get behind him, and I don't have any more stress, and hopefully this stress bot does, and that's, as long as I could kill a K-wing, then that's doable. But okay, so Corran, the risk here is, if I do a 1 bank, if he's able to kill Biggs with these 3 ships, then this stress bot could give Corran another 2 stresses, and that's the last thing I need. So I originally put 1 on Corran, but then I took it back and I changed it to 3. So he goes for my 4K block, which, hey, worked out for him because that's what I did. Z just wants to get up in my face. K2 is just kind of getting out of there and wanting to. He's just wanting to. What am I thinking? He's wanting to just stay in range 3 and just deal TLT attacks. So the stress bot gets blocked, but at least I get a range 1 shot. I don't take a damage. Biggs gets blocked there. I do have a shot on K2, or I also am range 1 here. So Corran, so at least I have 3 range 1 attacks on his stress bot. So that's kind of, I mean, I really need to kill a K-wing, but I'll take what I can get at this point. And I roll really well for unmodified. So 2 shields there, but I do get to put on the fire control system. Biggs does 2 more damage. And now he gets to attack. He's going after Biggs. He deals 2 damage there, so I use the integrated astromech. He rolls horribly on the first one, and he has a focus, so that's not going to work out. And so Biggs dies there. So that's really unfortunate because now the stress bot has to attack, or can attack Corran and give him another stress. But doesn't deal any damage. Alright, so now my stress bot is going to attack his stress bot, hog on hog. And I roll amazing, 2 hits and a crit, so if it's direct, it could kill him. But that's not going to happen. But at least a range 1 shot with Corran has, can finish him off. Except I roll 3 blanks. Well, at least I have a target lock. Well, I roll 3 more non-hits. So what can he do? Yes, he rolls an evade. And when when I make all the mistakes that I've made, I really... that was just the nail in the coffin. It's like, okay, at least let's get all this, all the bad playing out in one game. So his Z turns around. His K-Wing is starting to make his move. And I thought this was a good move. I would have, a lot of people might have just kind of gone this way, but he's going to turn around and just stay close to Corran and just kind of stay in the fight. It worked out really well for me because my stress bot can turn in there. So I get a range 1 shot and can give him a stress. And then Corran just kind of is making his way out of town, getting rid of the stress. So he's able to deal... Okay, so I want to think about this for a second. So here, Corran has 2 stresses, can have a lot of shots on him. I mean, 3 out of his 4 people can shoot at Corran. I think the average person might have just like, hey, let's go after Corran. And that's what I would have absolutely loved and needed him to do. But MajorJuggler being like PhD mathematician genius, he knows that the much better option is just getting rid of the stress hog. And so that's what he does. And I'm so far behind that I really need him to make mistakes in order to get back in it. And he's just making solid choices. So that was one that I was like, oh, please go after Corran. So he deals another damage. Oh yeah. Oh, he accidentally. I don't know what happened, but gets another couple damage through. And he gave me a weapons failure crit. So that was really bad. 2 things that if I had initiative, I would have seen my mistake and been able to change my dial because I called it as soon as I saw it. And also, I wouldn't have gotten that crit before I attacked here. Not that that's like life-changing, but it's just one of those like, oh, dang it. So I roll 2 blanks. But I can give him a stress. So he does another smart move here. He's not going to try to get rid of the stress and turn. That'd be very risky, but he's just wanting to stay in the fight against Corran. And the stress bot's just trying to get away. And he slams with his K-Wing. He just wants to get closer. And my stress bot will... Even though I have weapons malfunction, I could still have a chance to get rid of his stress bot. So I'm happy about that. So his Z goes after my Y-Wing. and I roll and evade, so I get 1 damage on me. And it's too bad because he could have used that focus and just finished me off. So I lucked out there. And so he's gonna go finish off my Y-wing. Except he rolls horribly, and so that didn't work. So my Y-wing, with the weapons failure, I'm thinking I can do a 1 versus 1 and then TLT shot, or I can give him a stress, do a 2 versus 2, hopefully deal a damage, but I can at least give a stress, and then I just kind of need to take risks in order to, and then just hope that I can just finish off the Y-wing. So against the Z, I wasn't able to deal any damage, but first shot against the Y-wing, I roll nothing. Second shot, I roll 1 hit. Can the Y-wing live again? No, he can't. So, yay, I finished him off. Although, as I told you what my beginning strategy was in killing a K-wing in order to have a chance, I still kind of know that this game's just not where it needs to be. So Corran, okay, so this was, he has damaged engine, so it's not like I can turn and maybe deal another couple damage. So he's just wanting to get out of there. And I don't know why I didn't think of this. I thought of this right after I did it, again, where I'm just like just not thinking. But if I did, so what I did was a 3, but that's in range of this K-wing. So had I done, I'm just wanting to get out of there, had I done a 3 bank, that would have given me out of space, and then I could just slowly get rid of my stress, hopefully get rid of my weapons failure. Hopefully Corran can just run these guys around here, and then I can get some help there. So that was just something that I could have done, but I didn't, so it's all good. I just want to learn from these mistakes. So Corran does a 3 forward, so I lose my stress, but I'm able to boost and barrel roll. But, oh, I left this thing on. Z doesn't have a shot. K-wing doesn't have a shot on Corran, but he can finish him off. And I had accidentally copied, and so he only has 1 hit left. I had made a mistake there. Story of this game. So he dealt, yeah, he got me. So Corran against the world. This is about the worst case scenario I could have asked for. And he's gonna slam. So Corran, I kind of am thinking about what's gonna set up my best move next turn. And barrel rolling back, that will give me an option to do a hard turn, and hey, I avoid the shot, so bonus. So I'm thinking maybe I'll do a 2, and then I'm thinking, well, maybe I'm just going to be a little, I'm going to just try a 3. So he does a good maneuver there. He does a 2 forward, and then that was just the brilliant move. That was just that made it game, because he's going to block me, and K1's going to get tactician stress, and I already know this end game is like my only chance was being able to get a double tap and have really good modified dice to take out the K-wing, and then hopefully I could just regen my shields, get past the tactician. It still would have been a little bit tricky, but doable had he not made that great block there. So he definitely deserved to win that game, outplayed me. It was fun, and I learned a lot of times you learn more from your mistakes, but just one of the hardest losses, because I mean, I don't mind losing, but when I just don't do as well as I know that I can, it's just kind of frustrating. So but it was still fun, and it's always fun to play really quality players, and he did great. So thanks for watching, thanks for playing.